You'd assume that putting a firm no in writing would settle things, especially when we're talking about a boat that belongs to me, docked at a marina I personally pay for, insured solely under my name, and completely outside the reach of any HOA authority. But Karen, our neighborhood's self-appointed empress of enforcement, apparently confused privately owned property with a shared amenity. Welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe for your premium HOA drama. It began, as it always does with Karen, with one of her signature guilt-laced emails. We're searching for a distinctive venue for this month's HOA mixer, and your boat would be absolutely perfect. It's practically a community landmark. I responded within 10 minutes. Absolutely not. No softening. No wiggle room. I referenced liability concerns, marina regulations, and clearly stated that she did not have permission to use my vessel. I assumed that would close the matter. It didn't. A few days later, I had to leave town for a family funeral. Before heading out, I did a full check of the boat, locked the cabin, disabled the engine, secured every compartment, and double-tied the dock lines. I'd recently installed a ring camera overlooking the dock, synced directly to my phone, just in case. The just in case arrived at exactly 8:47 p.m. on a Saturday. Motion alert. Figures stepping onto my boat under the cover of darkness. I opened the live feed, and there she was, Karen, wine glass in hand. Cooler is dragging behind her, full party energy. Trailing her were 3 HOA board members in golf polos and boat shoes, carrying plastic cups and a portable speaker. One of them even waved directly at the camera, like he thought it was a red carpet moment. I immediately called my neighbor, the one listed as my emergency contact at the marina. After a few uncomfortable pauses, he admitted Karen had stopped by earlier that day, claiming I had told her to pick up the boat key from him for a scheduled event. He said she sounded so confident that he didn't feel comfortable challenging her. I leaned back, staring at my screen, trying to contain the nuclear-level anger building inside my chest. I replayed the footage 3 times, especially the part where Karen laughed and said, "He'll get over it. It's not like we're hurting anything." Spoiler alert. They were about to damage quite a bit, mostly their own reputations, and I was about to let the ocean take care of the rest. I could have called the marina office immediately. I could have dialed the police right then, but that felt too simple, too tidy. These weren't clueless neighbors who made an honest mistake. These were entitled, self-satisfied people who believed consequences applied to everyone except them. Karen lied. She manipulated my neighbor. She boarded my boat illegally. That wasn't confusion. That was intentional trespassing. So instead of stopping them, I started preparing. First, I opened my boat's companion app. Yes, my boat has its own app. Welcome to 2025. The engine was already remotely disabled. I left it that way, but the dock lines? Last year, I installed a Wi-Fi controlled motorized release system so I could untie remotely if I ever needed to depart. Without stepping onto the dock, one tap, the lines could loosen automatically. Then, I checked the tide schedule. Tonight was ideal. A gentle offshore breeze, an outgoing tide, and just enough current to ease the boat quietly away from the marina. Once untethered, I poured myself a drink, settled into the chair in my hotel room, and kept watching the dock cam. Karen was now giving a grand tour of the helm, posing with her phone like she had purchased the vessel herself. One board member was dancing badly near the bow. Another was urinating over the side like it was a college fraternity bash. I opened the control app, tapped release lines. The boat began to drift. At first, nobody noticed. Karen was busy attempting to livestream something she called exclusive HOA Yacht Night, but within minutes, subtle changes crept into the background. The dock was no longer flush. Beside them, the pier lights were slowly shrinking in the distance. Karen dropped her phone. She ran toward the stern. "Why are we moving?" One board member rushed to the ignition, dead. Another stumbled around searching for a paddle. As if this were a canoe, someone shouted, "Who's driving this thing?" No one. Not them. Not anymore. I opened my Coast Guard reporting app and filed a formal notice. Vessel possibly taken without owner authorization. Last observed drifting east of the marina. I am the registered owner. I uploaded the ring footage. Attached screenshots of my written refusal to grant access. I wasn't setting a trap. I was documenting a crime and allowing physics and seawater to do what they do. Best.by the time the boat had drifted nearly half a mile from the dock. The cheerful Chardonnay haze had completely evaporated. Panic had taken its place. Karen was stomping back and forth across the deck like a caffeine-charged squirrel, thrusting her phone into the air in a desperate hunt for signal bars. The livestream had died the second they drifted beyond the marina's cozy Wi-Fi bubble, freezing her audience on one glorious final frame. A board member awkwardly cramming shrimp cocktail into his blazer pockets. These weren't seasoned sailors. They were suburban micromanagers who probably believed Starboard was the name of a premium yoga accessory. Eventually, the ring camera feed cut out as distance swallowed the signal, but I still had the boat's GPS tracker active. On my screen, a lonely little dot drifted aimlessly in open water, turning slowly with the current, like it was reconsidering its life choices. I checked the marine forecast: clear skies, calm seas, no storms, and a very, very long night ahead. Perfect. Meanwhile, the HOA group chat, which a former board member had secretly forwarded to me months earlier, erupted into chaos. The boat just floated away. Does anyone know how to operate this thing? Wait, you didn't actually get his permission? Karen said he approved it. He'll understand. We're representing the community. We're stranded, Karen. I couldn't help it. I laughed out loud. They weren't in danger. Not even close, but they were completely helpless, and every minute they drifted farther from shore was a fully legal reminder of how spectacularly they had miscalculated. Then, my phone rang. The Coast Guard. Sir, we received your report. We're dispatching a unit to locate the vessel. Are you in immediate danger? No, I replied calmly. I'm monitoring the GPS remotely. They boarded without my consent. I have documentation of everything. I can forward the footage. They thanked me and said they would update me once they established contact. About an hour later, I noticed the GPS icon tracing lazy circles. My guess? Someone had attempted to deploy the anchor, probably under the assumption that it functioned like a parking brake. Back in the HOA chat, Karen was pleading with everyone not to contact authorities. Please don't call the police. Let's not escalate this. Too late. Battery percentages were dropping. The wine supply was depleted, and Karen's authority had evaporated somewhere between mile 3 and mile 5 offshore. They wanted a glamorous mixer. Instead, they enrolled in an unplanned maritime seminar around 3 o'clock a.m. The Coast Guard intercepted the boat roughly 7 miles offshore later. I read the officer's summary. Karen was in tears. Greg had leaned over the starboard side and lost whatever dignity he had left. Another board member was wrapped in a beach towel, whispering about jellyfish conspiracies. No injuries. No hypothermia, just wounded pride and a tidal wave of humiliation. At 6 o'clock a.m. The responding officer called me. Sir, your vessel is secure. I need to reconfirm. You never permitted them? I have text messages, ring footage, and a witness confirming they misrepresented themselves to obtain access. Would you like everything now? There was a brief pause. A chuckle. Now would be great. Later that afternoon, I received a follow-up. The incident had been officially documented as an unauthorized use of a vessel, a federal violation. While no criminal charges were immediately filed, the case details were forwarded to local law enforcement and my insurance provider. Apparently, in their attempt to drop anchor, they had managed to scrape the hull. Impressive. Karen, naturally, attempted damage control. She called an emergency HOA meeting to clarify misunderstandings, spinning a narrative that I had orchestrated the entire ordeal as some elaborate trap. Unfortunately for her, the neighbor she deceived stepped forward and admitted she had falsely claimed my approval. And then the footage was played. Karen smiling and waving at the camera while unlawfully boarding my boat. The vote to remove her as HOA president was swift. 6-1. Greg abstained, probably still queasy. Legally, I had plenty of options: trespassing, maritime violations, even emotional distress. If I felt like embracing my inner Karen instead, I sent the HOA a direct invoice covering hull repairs and professional cleaning services, fully itemized with photographic evidence. They hesitated. So my attorney sent a formal demand letter. Payment arrived within 48 hours, and then I did what might have been the most satisfying act of all. I sent a calm, composed email to the entire HOA mailing list with the subject line, "Friendly reminder, respecting private property." It contained exactly 3 bullet points. My boat is not a rental venue. Misleading neighbors for access still constitutes trespassing. Next time, the tide may not be so forgiving. There were no responses. No arguments. No spin attempts. Just silence. And that was the end of it. If you enjoy HOA showdowns like this, make sure to like and subscribe. Do you think Karen got what she deserved? Let me know in the comments.